Bryce Hall struggles, Chris Strevler is fun, and the rest of my takeaways from Jets Falcons. Hey, what's going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're talking Jets Falcons. Before we get started, just wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast wherever it is that you get the Just Jets podcast. And of course, you get bonus content over on Patreon. Make sure to check that out too. So I was at Jets Falcons and it was a ton of fun. I enjoyed going. The rain was a little bit of a pain in the butt. Started raining in the third quarter, so me and my girlfriend dipped out a little bit early, which it's a preseason game. It was raining. Sorry, I love the Jets, but I'm not sitting out in the rain for a preseason game at 10 o'clock at night on a Monday. But we had a good time, and unlike my other videos where I run through pretty much a drive-by-drive kind of breakdown, since I was at the game, I didn't really get to take those kind of notes. Instead, I'm kind of just going to do my biggest takeaways from this one. Jets ended up winning the game. Similar to last week, it almost felt like a carbon copy of the first game without the injuries. But the Jets didn't look great in the first half, came back, looked much better in the second half, and end up winning late. Preseason game, wins and losses don't really matter a ton, but I'm going to give you my biggest storylines from this game. The first was Bryce Hall's struggles, was the first thing that jumps out to me. Oh my God, did he look bad? And I'm a Bryce Hall guy. I like Bryce a lot. I think he has not the potential. I was going to say potential, but not potential because we've seen it. I think he can be a starting outside corner. He just did not look good. This might have been his worst game as a pro and obviously it's not a regular season game, which is a good thing, but Kyle Pitts absolutely cooked him. He allowed a touchdown. He had missed tackles. There was a penalty involved. It was about as bad of a Bryce Hall game as you can get. He was a starter for the game last night. The Jets didn't play very many starters at all. You could count on one hand how many guys were really getting significant reps on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball, mind you. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It was the young guys, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson. Outside of that, there really weren't too many other guys. Quan Alexander, I guess, who there weren't very many guys who are locked into a starting role that played last night outside of the rooks, which I kind of understand why you want to get the young guys the reps. Okay, I get that. But for Bryce Hall, man, he was allegedly competing for a starting spot with Sauce Gardner. I don't see him winning that job. He's cornerback 4, which is fine. The Jets are going to have Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter in the slot, and if there is an injury, Bryce Hall, Brendan Eccles can come in. It was just ugly. It was really, really bad from Bryce Hall. I don't think I've ever seen him look that bad. Little concerning again, but he's not going to be a starter. So yeah, just put that one behind you, Bryce, because that was rough. That was really rough. The next thing I wrote down was penalties with an exclamation point. Oh my God, the amount of penalties was insane. 24, 13 to 11. That's how many penalties there were. It was never ending. It was just dry play after play after play, penalty. It's just undisciplined football. And the refs just inserting themselves too. We see that way too much in all of sports, but especially in the NFL. These refs just getting way too involved. There's no reason for 24 penalties in a preseason game. Come on now. That's an insane number. Now, in the regular season, obviously, I would like to see that go away. That was an issue for the Jets last year, but I'm not going to necessarily mark that down as an issue yet. Similarly to the defense, I see a lot of people complaining about the defense, and I get it. In the first half, they were really, really bad. Same like in week 1, and the Jets had the 32nd worst defense in the league last year. But once again, they were in a spot where they're not really playing starters, so it's hard to evaluate, is this really going to be what the Jets defense looks like, or is it because that they don't have the starters, and they were going against starters. They had Mariota, Kyle Pitts, all those guys played a couple of series, so it's not really a fair evaluation of the defense. So we'll see there, but yeah, Bryce Hall struggles, penalties. Garrett Wilson hands is what I wrote down. He had 3 catches, which wasn't a ton, obviously, but I thought he looked good. I liked how he went up and, contorted his body to catch the football. I think that's what's going to make him special. Denzel Mims had a few catches as well. He had 3 catches on the day, which was solid. Love that. But again, there was a penalty. It's becoming an every week thing where it's like, okay, yeah, we have a couple nice catches, but then it's also you have a penalty. And he was playing gunner. Like, I don't know if I see this working here for the Jets. I like the kid a lot. I'm rooting for him, but the role that he's going to be in, I don't know if it's going to work with this staff. It's crazy to me that we're at this point, but let's say Garrett Wilson's hands was a positive on some of the younger receivers. Chris Strevler is a ton of fun. Oh my God, I love watching this kid. He went 8 of 11, 118 yards, 1 touchdown, a pick. The pick he was actually trying to get to Denzel. And I was listening on the radio at this point, but the radio broadcast was saying that it was kind of like a up for grabs kind of ball. And they were saying that Mims could have tried to play defense a little bit and knock it down, but wet ball, kind of threw it up for grabs. The Falcons had a couple of turnovers in the second half as well. This guy is fun. Is he a starting caliber quarterback in this league? No. Is he a number 2? Probably not. But he's fun in the preseason. And comparatively to Mike White, he went 12 of 17, which, okay, that's pretty good, but 90 yards on 17 passing attempts, 5.3 yards per attempt. There were a couple times where he's throwing the ball too high. He was missing guys. I'm all good on the Mike White stuff, man. There's a reason why he's quarterback 3. There's a reason why they're going with Joe Flacco in these games. I don't want to see Mike White in the regular season. That would be rough. But Strevler has given him a run for his money. I'll say that. I was maybe holding out a little bit of hope that the Jets could, flip Mike White maybe in a trade to a team who needs a quarterback for a late pick. Kind of like what we saw. Nick Mullins got traded yesterday for a 2024 6th or 7th round pick, something along those lines. Maybe even a little bit on the higher end for Mike White, but overall, Strevler is just so much fun to watch. He really was a big part of the comeback. He led the team in rushing, had 118 yards on 11 passing attempts. The interception wasn't great. He kind of threw it up for grabs, but gotta love that. He's been electric. And the last one that I have in this Jets win, Lawrence Cager, looks good again. I think it would make sense to keep him on this roster because he brings an interesting skill set that they really don't have. He's a converted wide receiver who was moved to tight end. So obviously he's a little bit of a better route runner than most tight ends. He's not probably as good of a blocker, but I really like what he brings to this team. I would rather keep him on the roster for depth than like a Trayvon Wesco, for instance, who was also a walking penalty last night. And I think you could also have Jeremy Ruckert play a little bit of fullback. He did that last night on a couple of reps. Obviously, no one else on this roster, whether it be Wesco or Kenny Yeboah or Lawrence Cager, is going to unseat any of the top 3 guys. But I think it'd be wise to carry 4 tight ends on this roster. And I think Lawrence Cager is making a really good case for him to be that 4th guy. One more preseason game, Jets against the Giants next Sunday. Apparently, the Jets are going to play a little bit more of their starters in that one. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if Robert Saleh changes his mind. But for now, those are my takeaways from the game. Sound off in the comments below what your takeaways were from this one. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.